Hi, Faith.
Hi, Shawna.
I feel like we should put in our own theme music now. Like
Oh,
until we
okay.
can get until we can get theme music.
Okay. What do you want to
I should,
sing?
I should be serenading you.
Okay. We could just start singing. Sounds
Like
great.
Don't Fear the Reaper, Blue
Oh,
Oyster Cult.
great.
Here
Yes.
we go.
Yes. We'll just start. Welcome to Momticians. We are the Momticians. We're Faith Haug and Shawna Rodabaugh. And thank you for tuning in. We are just giving a little intro into what our show's all about today, but did want to put this up so you kind of have an idea of what we are hoping to bring to you. So, Shawna, why don't you tell everybody where the term Momtician came from?
Well, it was the brainchild of one of my former students who appar- apparently going to class with me was a lot like, having a mom there all the
Right?
time. All right, Blitten, come on, let's do this. So they started calling me the momtician, and
Mhm.
I started getting like Stanley cups and t-shirts and everything else printed with momticians. So it has very lovingly stuck with my heart since then. And of course, we adopt additional momticians, such as yourself.
Yup.
And
I've been called the fairy godmother, which I like, but also like it's a little too nice. I don't know. It sounds too nice. Like it sounds like some like happy little. That's not me, but I
well,
appreciate the term.
Sharon G. Mascarello was my mentor,
Uh-huh.
and I ran into her at a convention with one of my students that called me momtician.
Hmm.
And I was like, come here. Do you want to meet the grandmomtician? And so we all started calling Sharon the grandmomtician, which I think she liked for a hot minute, but then realized that that would make her a grandma, and then she didn't really like it as much.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, so obviously, we call ourselves the Momticians. That's kind of who we are and how we're hoping to do this. Um, why don't you give us a little bio, Shauna, so people that don't already know who we are, which I can't imagine there's many because we have our hands in everything, but that don't know who they've got here in front of them because you've got a really impressive background and resume and have done so many awesome things. And I think people maybe that are new students or mortuary students that haven't been in the industry that long, they probably don't really know what they've got here with you. So who
Well,
are you? And
that is that is the type of introduction that's going to make me blush through this entire
good.
thing, which means I don't have to embarrass you just as badly back.
Great.
But um, no, I grew up in Michigan. I've been in Michigan for the majority of my life, but started out at Ferris State University with my associates, and then went to Wayne State University for my baccalaureate in mortuary science.
Mhm.
We are one of just a very few programs in Michigan that are accredited
Mhm.
that also have mortuary science programs as a 4-year format.
Right.
So I think I really benefited from that quite a bit. And that's where I met the legendary Sharon G., who then became, or Sharon G. Mascarello.
Yep. Check who
But
the author of your embalming textbook is because that name will be,
yes,
if that name is familiar, you don't know why, check out the author
that's
of your
why.
embalming textbook. Yep.
She is the grandmomtician. But yeah, so Sharon kind of took me under her wing, and I make absolutely no qualms about saying that I was trained by the absolute best. She she got me through everything that I needed to get through that I didn't have to learn on my own.
Mhm.
And so, spent a few years doing that, got my second bachelor's degree in technical management,
Mhm.
got my master's degree in business administration,
Huh?
and then just about finished with the PhD. But in the meantime, I've been licensed for 20 years. I've been teaching for, oh goodness, it's been like 15 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 15 years that I've been teaching, and I love every minute of it. I work with the anatomical side. I work with the business side. I do consulting, and I actually work with a company now that they developed a non-toxic embalming fluid,
Mhm.
and I helped to develop the protocol to establish it. So it's just really fun stuff.
Yeah, that's so cool. You do so many cool things. What is your favorite subject to teach?
Ooh, to teach. Well, I mean, embalming is kind of a given, but aside from embalming, I'm an anatomy girl.
Yeah, oh sure.
So,
Oh
um,
sure. And
one of
Shawna,
the
just to in case you didn't know, Shawna's a pretty heavy contributor to the new embalming book as well. And I think you co-authored a couple of chapters in there, kind of was it
yeah,
the donor chapter or was it the which ones were? Because I know you did
I
a lot of
worked
that one too.
on I worked on the sections for donation.
Hmm.
The I did some with the sections on embalming jaundice cases, but really the what I wanted to focus the most on was embalming organ and tissue donors.
Yeah.
Um, I felt like in the old versions of the textbook that it was a little biased toward um, kind of discouraging families to do that. There was no outright language saying,
Sure.
wow, but the intonation of it
Well,
was
the
not the most
intonation and the
favorable.
lack of time and detail dedicated to it maybe kind of gave that impression.
Yeah. So I wanted to step in with it because my dad is a heart recipient,
Mhm.
my son is a bone recipient, and I owe these donors my entire family, my entire career. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
But you have done some absolutely amazing things yourself. You are not only the program director over there in Colorado,
Yeah.
but you've also got your small business.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm around in a lot of different things. So I grew up in Chicago. I went to Mortuary School at Worsham, which is I loved Worsham. There's people that kind of hate on the little private schools once in a while still, and it's like I loved it. I loved Worsham. So I had a great experience in mortuary school. And I think that was one of those things. I feel like mortuary school is so important because if you don't have a good experience, it really sets you up kind of for failure in the industry in a lot of
Oh,
ways. And so
absolutely.
I wanted to just make that point. I had a great experience in mortuary school, and I think that really is what set me down, a good path for my career. I've worked in funeral homes, really small funeral homes with 2 or 3 employees. I've worked for big corporations, so I've kind of done all of it when it comes to working in different kinds of businesses. I have a degree in health. I have a master's in business. I'm currently a student at Colorado State University, getting a doctorate in education. So I'm still a student myself. I own an auto shop, so I own Good Judy Garage in Denver, which is Colorado's only openly queer owned and operated auto shop. I won't say we're the only, I don't know that to be true, but I know we're the only ones that is open about it and kind of makes that the basis for our business model and making sure that we serve people that may feel uncomfortable in traditional auto shops, which can be queer
And
people, it can be women, it can be men that don't know a lot about cars but think they're supposed to because they're men. I mean, we get all kinds of customers, but really our business model is to be non-threatening, and honest and ethical, and kind of make a place where people can feel comfortable that they don't know what in the heck is happening with their car. Um,
mhm.
and it has a lot of similarities to funeral service. I've had people say, "Why do you talk about your auto shop so much?" Hold up, because they're two businesses where you don't want to go. I don't
Mhm.
want to go make funeral arrangements, and I don't want to take my car to the shop. Neither of those does anybody really look forward to doing. It's usually money you haven't planned on spending, right? Um, and it's money that you don't want to spend on something that's negative, right? So we don't want to spend the money on a funeral service. It's too expensive. I don't want to spend the money because it's something that's sad for me, and I don't want to spend the money on my car because I don't care. Like I just want it to drive me. Unless you're a super car person, it's like, God, I got to pay $500 for a part I don't even know what it is and I can't see it. So serving those different business clientele is very similar, in fact. So I do use it a lot as an example when I'm teaching, when I'm lecturing, because I think it is important for students to realize that the skills that you learn in mortuary school, those soft skills, those are things you can use in your life everywhere. Maybe your technical embalming skills, I mean, maybe they'll help you in the kitchen. I don't know. Or maybe at Thanksgiving, you've got, I don't know. You understand a little
Mom,
bit
what
more about
cannula are you going to
science.
use with that baster?
Right, right. But the soft skills that you learn in mortuary school can be used in so many different ways. And it's important. But yeah, I do that. We're both moms, obviously. I have an 8-year-old girl. And how old are your guys?
My son is 18.
Yeah.
I know he's not even a kid anymore. He's an adult. And I don't know who to send the threatening letters to about that.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's he's not supposed to age this fast.
Oh,
He's not supposed to, like, I should not have to look up at my son and be like, listen.
right? Well, and in doing this lecture series, so the idea for this show is that we are going to provide supplemental lectures to the things that you're learning in mortuary school. So if you're a mortuary school student currently, this show will be an awesome supplement for you. So it will be topics that are covered in the mortuary science curriculum, but presented a little bit differently, presented by Shawna and I as, our, our personalities and kind of like your loving mother who's a little hard on you, right? Maybe. So if you're thinking about mortuary school, it's a great show for you because it'll give you an idea about what some of the topics are that you'll be studying and to see, does this really interest me? Is it what I thought it would be? It's a good way maybe to gauge, if that is the right choice for you. And if you're graduated in a professional, you probably forgot a whole bunch of stuff. I'm telling you, you may not think so, but it's good refreshers, or maybe it's just a good show to have on in the background when you're doing something to just kind of think about the stuff you learned in mortuary school and how much of it, do I use on a daily basis? What are some things maybe I haven't thought about in a long time? So it's good for everybody.
It is. And Faith, you know as well as I do that when you work at a specific funeral home, it's really easy to get into a rut of
Mhm.
this is how we do it. This works really well for us. We should be the model for every funeral home on the planet from
Mhm.
this point forward
Yeah,
because we are the bestest, bestest.
yeah,
And keeping that mind thought also means that you're not staying open to being able to learn other things. And
yeah,
that's where it comes from. It comes from being able to collect tidbits from all of these great people,
yep,
putting them together into something even greater, which is
yeah.
why I'm so excited to be doing this with you
We
because
agree on a lot of things, but I bet we'll find there's some things we don't. I'm excited for that
oh,
because
I'm excited to find those things
I
actually.
know. Me
I
too.
like we can have a
Oh,
civilized
yeah.
conversation. I
Oh,
mean, don't get
absolutely.
me wrong, claws will come out. If
Sure.
if you want to put milk in my embalming machine, we're over. We're not friends
No,
anymore.
no, 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 no. I tell my students that's an old wives' tale, even though I don't really think it is. I think some people really did
No,
that
it
and
was
still do
established
it.
by magazine.
See, I
It
learned
was an
something
article.
too.
One of my Dodge reps sent me the article. It was an article published in Dodge magazine recommending it. And obviously, we don't want to do a whole show right now, but I can actually tell you why people think it works, but it doesn't actually work.
Yeah.
That would be a good show
That'll be
topic.
a really good, yeah, a really good show. So that's the premise here. That's what we're hoping to bring to you. There's a lot of shows out there about what we do in the industry, but there's
Mhm.
not a lot out there about that's a little bit more curriculum based and a little bit more, these are the sacred teachings, I guess. I don't know. But so that's what we're trying to be just a little different, kind of a lighthearted, entertaining, but also educational show where you can come and find a lecture on a topic. Maybe it's something you're studying that week and you just want another version of it.
Mhm.
Maybe, it's something that particularly interests you and you want just more voices on it. Whatever it is, that's what we're hoping to do with this show. So if there's any topics or anything that people want us to cover, what should they do?
Well, we're going to actually direct you to our brand new Gmail account because we're fancy. We're
We are
fancy.
fancy.
We're not of the age group that still remembers what Yahoo was. That's not us. We are much younger than that.
We are
So
much younger than that. Much.
If you email us at
We
Momticians
never wrote a letter and put it in the mail in our lives.
ever.
Ever.
I have no idea what dot matrix means. No
Oh,
clue.
no,
No clue.
no.
That sound of
They're lost
oh my
now.
gosh, I was getting into my little spiel and now we're gonna have some problems. They better keep shiny stuff away from us while we're recording.
I know, no kidding, no kidding, as you've got your strobe light Christmas tree in the background.
It's not a real Christmas tree if it doesn't induce seizures.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's how we roll around here.
But what is it? Momticians@gmail.com?
Momticians at Gmail.
Momticians@gmail.com. Send
Yeah.
in some things you want us to cover. We've got lists and lists on our own, just pulling from, like we say, we're basing kind of off the mortuary school topics and things like that. This is not in any way intended to be a replacement for mortuary school. So while we are covering a lot of those topics and a lot of those things, you still need
Go
to
to
go to mortuary
class.
school, go to class.
Yes.
We're just providing supplemental material for you because everybody learns in different ways, and hearing the same thing from different people, I think does help. At least it
Now,
does for me.
Faith, you and I are both sponsoring this first couple of episodes
Yeah.
through Good Judy Garage and Consulting.
Mhm.
Would you like to talk a little bit about
Yeah, so
sponsorship?
this is obviously, our time and our effort and all of that. Time is money. People, we could be doing other things with our time, and we want to be able to keep this free for students because again, this is really who it's intended for. Those thinking about school, in school, recently out of school, they're not making a lot of money. They're students, they're new professionals. And so, in order to keep us going, in order to keep this regular, and in order to keep it free, we will have a link where you are very welcome and very encouraged to make a donation if you're able to. We'll put that in our YouTube channel. We'll put that as well, in social media posts and things like that, where you can do that if you so choose. And sponsorships are important. So a lot of companies, we encourage you to think about it. We'd love to have a sponsorship, arrangement with you. And if you have any more to say about that, but I think that's kind of where we're looking to go to keep it free, honestly, free for students.
That's pretty much the gist of it. And, we obviously we can get by doing things like this, but it would be nice to have some better quality equipment to be able to give the students a better experience.
Yeah.
So, this is going to go back into helping these students, have this resource that we're both very passionate about providing.
Yeah.
So,
So if that
and
interests you, if you're a funeral home that wants to sponsor an episode, send us
yeah,
an email. If you're a vendor or a company that wants to sponsor this series, reach out and we can have those conversations and see where that might lead. But we're absolutely open to that and are very grateful for any kind of support that anyone wants to give for this series, because as we all know, education is important, but it is not free. We are in the United States of America, and our students are already paying tens of thousands of dollars for their education. So hopefully we don't. Gosh, I just wish that it were more affordable for students in a lot of ways. So keeping this free is important to us. Is the point.
exactly, exactly. So, in closing, Faith, when are we going to get our first episode out? What do you
We
think?
are thinking 2 weeks.
Mhm,
So today is Wednesday, the 10th. 2 weeks would be Wednesday, the 24th of January. So
mhm.
let's shoot for that. So Wednesday, the 24th, we will drop our first full length lecture. And then from then, what?
I was like, we can drop our first kids off at the.
Gosh, we need help.
Guys, don't pay any attention to us when we break down. Make good choices.
Make good choices. Send us your questions. Send us your requests. We will get to them. And feel free to send over just a random question to that email or comment on the YouTube. We will go through each time we do a lecture and answer any questions we've had since the last one. So, anything else to say?
Faith, it is awesome as always to work with greatness.
Yeah, same to you. I'm
Right?
excited. Yeah. Well, make good choices, everyone. We're your momticians. We care about you. We'll kick your ass if you don't behave. Make good choices out there, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.